This is the last session of the mini course, and the last computer component we will talk about for now is the SSD or the solid state drive in more detail. The SSD or solid state drive acts like the permanent memory for your computer, storing files, programs, and photos, enabling faster access and improved performance compared to traditional hard drives. Long-term memory in our brain could be like the ability to remember birthdays, passwords, or even important addresses. We're going to talk about this in more detail. The higher the SSD, the quicker the computer will recall for information. Just like us, SSDs provide a significant speed boost compared to traditional HDDs, which that is hard disk drives, allowing for faster boot times and quicker application launches, enhancing overall user experience and efficiency. With better organization and faster read and write speeds, SSDs ensure that files are accessed and saved more efficiently, reducing the waiting time during daily functions. Unlike HDDs, SSDs have no moving parts, offering greater durability and reliability, making them less prone to failures and providing peace of mind for long-term data storage. So let's review our knowledge with a quick brain-to-computer summary. Let's start with the processor, also known as the CPU. In the chart, you'll see it described as the part of the computer that thinks and executes. That's because the CPU is literally the brain of your computer. Now, how does this relate to us? In the brain analogy column, the processor represents your speed of reasoning. This is how fast you think, solve problems, and make decisions. So in real life, what does this mean for your computer? Well, it affects how fast your computer reacts. Now, that we understand the three main parts of the computer, the processor as a thinking brain, the RAM as a short-term memory, and the SSD as a long-term memory, let's put that knowledge into action. When you open programs, click a button, or run Excel formulas, the CPU is the one doing the work. So a stronger CPU equals a faster and more responsive computer. Let's talk about memory or RAM. RAM is where your computer temporarily stores active data, everything you're using right now. So what's a brain analogy? RAM works like your short-term memory. This is what your brain uses to hold things for a short period of time, like your to-do list, something someone just said, or the instructions you're following right now. And in real life, well, RAM affects multitasking and smoothness. If you have multiple tabs open, Zoom running, music playing, and you're working in Excel, that's RAM hard at work. So more RAM equals smoother performance and more ability to multitask without your computer slowing down. On this slide, you're looking at a simple comparison of laptops. And instead of getting overwhelmed by technical numbers or confusing names, we're going to evaluate them using the computer brain concepts we just learned. This is where you get to apply what you know. When choosing a computer, whether for work, school, or personal use, you only need to ask three smart questions. And these relate directly to the brain functions we talked about. The question number one is, how fast do I need my computer to think, or the CPU? If you run many programs, work with spreadsheets, do video calls, or multitask, look for a stronger processor, like an Intel Core i5 or better. Now, if you only browse the internet, watch videos, or check emails, a lower processor like Celeron might be enough. Question number two, how much Do I multitask or RAM? Think of this as how many things do I keep in my short-term memory at the same time? If you open many tabs, use Zoom, and run multiple apps, 16 gigabytes of RAM or more is ideal. Now, for very basic use, 8 gigabytes of RAM can work. For heavy multitasker or professionals, 24 gigabytes of RAM or more is excellent. This is your computer's long-term memory. So ask yourself, do I store photos, videos, or large projects? Choose 1 terabyte or more of memory. Do I mainly use cloud storage? 512 gigabytes is usually enough. So now, when you look at this lineup of laptops, instead of saying, wow, this is too much information, you can simplify it. Which one thinks faster? Look at the CPU. Which one can handle more tasks at once? Look at the RAM. And then which one can store more information? Look at the SSD. Just like that, the technical specs become easy to understand. Thank you, and the entire point of this course is simple. You don't need to be a computer expert. You just need to understand the computer brain. And once you know CPU, RAM, and SSD, you can choose a computer confidently without guessing. I hope this helped you see computers in a completely different way. Not as complicated machines, but as digital brains that think, remember, and store information just like we do. If you enjoyed this explanation, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and comment below if you would like me to review specific laptops or help you choose one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.